Divi Nation, thank you for joining us in this live stream. Today we're going to show you how to create a sticky footer with Divi and the Divi theme builder. So if you're non-elegant themes member yet, make sure that you check out Divi. I've mentioned it in one of the links in the description below. And without any further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so I want to say hi to everyone on YouTube and Facebook. If you guys have questions, make sure that you leave a question in the comment section on Facebook or on YouTube, and I'll be checking on those quite frequently. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is show you guys a preview of what we're going to achieve within this live stream. So over here I have a page set up where you can notice a bottom footer bar, and this sticks to the bottom of our browser as we're scrolling down. And once we reach the footer area of our page, it sticks to, to the initial place that it took up, and it changes the styles as well. So we'll achieve that using Divi's built-in options. Let's take a quick look on smaller screen sizes as well. So over here I have, let me just refresh this. So over here I have a mobile preview for this as well. The call to action in this sticky footer bar is a bit smaller to fit the screen size, and the same goes for smaller screen sizes. As soon as it goes back in place, it changes style. So over here I have a page set up that doesn't have this footer. It has a default footer, and we'll recreate this thing from scratch. So this entire design and the functionality from scratch on this particular page. So the first thing I'm going to do over here is go to the Divi theme builder in the back end of my WordPress website. So over here you can notice a template with a footer. This is the footer that I've shown you guys over here. So that's this footer, and I have a separate template for this page over here without that footer, where I'm going to start creating a new footer by clicking on Add Custom Footer and Build Custom Footer. All right, so over here, as soon as I start creating the footer, I get three options, and I'm going to start building from scratch by clicking on this first item over here. Now over here I have a section already, and I'm going to use that section to start building my footer design. So I'm going to open these section settings first, and I'm going to apply a black background color. So in case you're wondering, this is the co-working space layout pack. So this footer that we're creating goes really well with it if you want to use it for that purpose, but you can use any kind of design style you want, really, and customize this to your own needs. Now that we have a black section over here, we're going to start adding our first row, and to do that we'll select a new row with 3 columns, and I'm going to open the row settings over here and add a orange background color. Let me grab that color code. And then I'm going to move on to the design tab, and over here in the sizing settings, I'm going to use custom gutter width, put this to 1. I'm going to use 90% for the width and 2580 pixels for the max width, which is almost like full screen on most screen sizes. Also using center row alignment, which is the default as well, but you can enable this if you want. In the spacing settings, we're going to modify the top and bottom padding on smaller screen sizes. If I go back to the preview over here, you can notice that there's less space being taken up on smaller screen sizes, and to make sure that that's the outcome, we're going to use 5 pixels for the top and the bottom padding on smaller screen sizes. So we're kind of reducing the padding here. I don't know what the default value exactly is on desktop, but it's a little bit more than on smaller screen size. So the 5 pixels we added on smaller screen sizes. And then I'm going to go and add some rounded corners. Over here I'm using 30 pixels for all the corners on desktop, and I'm bringing that down to 15 pixels on tablet and phone. And just see if you guys are following along. If the connection's still fine, it seems like it is. Good. All right. And I'm also going to go to the advanced tab, and over here in the visibility settings, I'm going to choose visible for both these overflow settings, and this will just help us create those overlaps over here that you can notice with the blurbs. By default, if you're adding a border, like rounded corners to a container, it will automatically place the overflows to hidden. And since we want that overlap, we'll manually select visible over here. Now, on desktop, you can notice that we have 3 call to actions in our sticky footer bar, 1, 2, 3, to, modify our design according to smaller screen sizes and the space that you really get from these screen sizes. We're going to disable or just hide 2 of our columns, being column 1 and 3, but that's really up to you which one you want to leave on smaller screen sizes. But I'm just keeping that button over here, which is gonna take place in the second column. So for that reason, I'm gonna hide column 1 and column 3 on smaller screen sizes. In the advanced tab over here, I'm gonna select phone and tablet on disable on. Over here, I'm gonna do the same for the third column. So I'm hiding column 1 and column 3 on tablet and phone. Now that we have this foundation set, we can start adding modules. We'll start with the first blurb module in column 1. Let me just grab the copy for that really quick. So we're adding a title and some content here. And then we're going to select an icon instead of an image. There we go. Then we'll move on to the icon settings, and we're going to style this. Let me just grab a yellow color code here for the icon. I'm also going to enable a circle icon, use a black circle color. I'm also going to enable a custom font size. And this is going to be 32 pixels. So we only need to, modify this on desktop, not on smaller screen sizes, because we're hiding the entire column 1 and 3 on smaller screen sizes, so we don't need this to be optimized. But if you decide to go for this call to action, for instance, you can modify these values according to the screen size. And in the text settings, I'm going to use center text alignment and a light text color. Then I'll go to the title text settings. I'm using pop-ins over here. And a black text color. I'll go to the body text settings. I'm going to use pop-ins here as well. Let's make it ultra bold. And I'll increase the text size to 20 pixels. And in the sizing settings, I'm going to bring back the content width to 100%. So there we go. And to create that overlap that you could see in the preview over here, I'm going to use some negative margin. Minus 60 pixels to be exact. And by default, a blurb module comes with an animation for the blurb icon or image. And you can turn that off if you want. Over here in the animation settings, you can select no animation. So once you have the first blurb module, you can clone this and place the duplicate in column 3. There we go. And of course, you'll need to change the icon and the content. Now we'll add another blurb module to column 2. And we're going to leave the content box empty. And instead, we're going to choose an icon over here. So if I go back to the preview, we just We're just using this module to create this kind of button, and then we'll place a text module below it. So select an icon of your choice. Let me just take a quick look to see if everything's still functioning correctly. So again, guys, if you have any questions, make sure that you leave a comment on YouTube or Facebook. I'll be checking on those. And over here, I'm going to use a black background color. Then I'll move on to the design tab, and in the image and icon settings, I'm going to use a white icon color and a custom icon font size, which is going to be 30 pixels. So these other settings will remain the same. Then I'll go to the sizing settings, and I'm going to use 70 pixels for the width, 40 pixels for the height. And I'll go to the spacing settings. I'm also going to use center module alignment. So in the sizing settings, I'm selecting center module alignment. And then I'll go to the spacing settings, and on smaller screen sizes, if I go to the preview over here, you can notice like this kind of overlap, but this isn't present on desktop. So we're enabling the responsive options on the margin values, and we're using -20 pixels on tablet and phone, and no value on desktop. And we'll use 5 pixels for the top padding and 0 pixels for the bottom padding over here to, make sure that this is in the middle of its container. And in the border settings, I'm going to use 10 pixels to create this kind of rounded corners look and feel. And again, we're going to select no animation in the animation settings, or you can select an animation of your choice, depends on what you prefer really. And then I'll add a text module right below this one. So it goes without saying that you'll have to add proper links, corresponding links to the blurb items, to this arrow, for instance, and to this text module that we're adding now. So you'll want to add a link that will help trigger whatever kind of action you want. So this is fully customizable. You can also download this layout, so this theme builder template layout, for free in the blog post, which is mentioned in the description below, and there you'll also be able to follow everything step by step with print screens and stuff. So now I'm gonna modify the text settings of this text module. So let's just pick semi-bold over here. I'm going to slightly increase the text size to 18 pixels, a line height of 1.8 EM, and center text alignment. I'm also going to pick a white text color, and that's our first row over here. So if I go to the preview, we have our first row. Now we need to add our second row, which will contain 4 columns. So this is a column structure we're going for. And I'm first going to start off by modifying these row settings. So in the sizing settings of our row, I'm going to enable use custom gutter width, put this to 1 or 2 actually. And I'm also going to increase the max width to 2580 pixels. Also going to equalize the column heights here. And in the spacing settings, I'm going to add some top and bottom margin, 50 pixels to be exact, for both these options. And now we can start adding modules here as well. So we'll start with an image module in column 1. And this will probably represent your logo or anything else. So I'm selecting this illustration over here, and then I'll go to the design tab, and in the sizing settings, I'm going to use 59% and left module alignment. And then we can move on to the second column, and here we're going to place a text module with some H3 content. So I'm going to add my copy and turn this to H3. Now go to the design tab, and in the H3 three settings, I'm going to choose Poppins as my font, a bold font weight, and let me just grab that color code quickly. So this kind of grayish color. Now that I have the first one, I can clone this a few times. So I'm going to clone it once, put this in the third column, and then clone it again, and place the duplicate in the fourth column and clone this once more because we need two of those in the fourth column, as you can see over here in the preview. Of course, make sure that you change all of the content. And then we'll add another text module to column 2 over here with some body content. So we're going to place a link here. These are probably going to be linked footer items. Then we'll go to the design tab, and in the text settings, I'm going to make some changes over here. I'm using Poppins for the font, 30 pixels for the text size, 1 EM for the line height, left text alignment, and a light color. I'm also going to change the link color over here to white. Now you can clone this as much as you want and modify the contents. Then we'll add another text module to column 3. Again, some body content with a link. So as mentioned before, this goes really well with the co-working space layout pack. So you can use this for that kind of website, or you can modify this however you want. So we're first building like the foundation of our footer, and then we'll turn this first row over here sticky on scroll, and we'll change styles as well. So here in the design tab, I'm going to make some changes to the look and feel of this text module. Let's go for Poppins, 22 pixels, 1 EM for the line height, a light text color here too, left text alignment, and I'm going to use another color, so this orangey color over here for the link text color. Let me grab that color code and add it here. And you can clone this one as much as you need as well. Just remove one and change all of the content, obviously. And then we'll add another text module right below this office's text module in column 4. This can represent anything. Over here in the preview, we're using this for the address, but you can change the content however you want. And then over here in the text settings, I'm going to use Poppins for the text font, 16 pixels for the text size, 1.8 EM for the line height, and again, a light text color, and text alignment is left. We'll also add some social follow icons right below this second office's text module. So you can add any social networks of your choice. Make sure that you remove the background color of each one of these individually to match the style of this footer design. Then we'll go back to the general social media follow settings. I'm going to use some negative top margin, -15 pixels, and -8 pixels on the left to create this kind of alignment that you can see. And now we can move on to the third row and the last row, which contains like the copyright, copy privacy policy, terms and conditions. So for this, I'm going to use a row with 3 columns. Let me just take a quick look to see if you guys have any questions so far. So I see you guys are joining in on the comment section. I want to say hi to everyone on YouTube. Good to see that you guys are following along. If you have questions, please let me know. So before I add modules, actually, I'm going to change the row settings a little bit. So I'm going to open this row. We're using a row with 3 columns. And in the sizing settings, I'm going to enable use custom gutter width, use a value of 2, equalize column heights, and we're using that max width of 2580 pixels again. So now we can add modules. Starting with a text module in column 1. Let me just grab that copy there really quick. There we go. I'm going to go to the text settings here, use Poppins again. So that's the font we're going for in this tutorial. I'm going to add a grayish color here. We're going to shrink the size to 13 pixels and use left text alignment. And we'll also add that same text color over here to the link text color, so that grayish color. So if you decide to make something clickable, such as a privacy policy or terms and conditions, it'll have that same color as the text module that doesn't have that kind of link. So now that we have the first one, we can clone this twice. Let me just clone it once, place it in column 2, and clone it again, place it in column 3. We're going to modify the text alignments for each one of these duplicates. So we'll start with the text module in column 2. Over here, we're going to use center text alignment on desktop, but bring this back to left alignment on smaller screen sizes. So we have that kind of alignment there. Of course, make sure that you change the content of each one of these duplicates. And then we'll open the text module in column 3 and use right text alignment and bring this back to left text alignment on smaller screen sizes. So this is the design that we have up until now. Let me just save it and give you guys a quick preview. So here's the page we have without a footer yet, where we've just built our footer. So if I refresh this, the footer should appear, and here we go. But we still want that sticky footer to be enabled, and that's what we'll focus on in the next and last part of this tutorial. So we'll achieve this kind of look and feel where the styles of our sticky footer bar change. It sticks back to the footer bar as soon as you go to the footer, and it gives this kind of effortless experience. So let's get to that part. The first thing we're going to do, and I'm just going to take one more look to see if there are questions. Don't see any questions so far. Awesome. Means that people are following along, which is important. I hope you guys understand everything and will be able to, create your own designs and have this functionality in place. So I'm going to open the footer again. And the first part to making the footer bar sticky is using Divi's sticky options on the row. So we've created, let me just wait for this to load. All right, so we've created the footer bar using a row with 3 columns and these blurb modules and the text module in column 2 too. So to turn this row sticky and be able to change the sticky styles, as you can notice over here, we're going to open the row settings and go to the advanced tab. In the scroll effects, we can select stick to top or stick to bottom or stick to top and bottom. For this design, we're going to pick stick to bottom, and we're also going to use a bit of offset. You can notice that here in the preview, we have a bit of offset. You can allow it to touch the bottom of the viewport, but for this design, it works well with an offset. So we're using 50 pixels, and we're bringing this down to 20 pixels on smaller screen sizes to make sure not a lot of space is being taken up on, devices that have limited space. So now that we've turned this row sticky, we can start modifying the sticky styles, meaning that Now we have this kind of orangey vibe to it, but as soon as it sticks to the bottom, it kind of like inverts in colors, and we can apply sticky styles to the row container itself, which has been turned sticky, along with all of the child elements in that row and in its columns. So we can, you know, apply sticky styles to the blurb modules and all to create this kind of fun transition. So we'll start with the row background color, which will turn black in a sticky state. So you have this kind of icon that's supposed to represent a sticky option, and over here you can just select the sticky background color you want. It's just going to be black here. And then I'm going to open the blurb module in column 1, and I'm going to make some changes there in a sticky state, starting with the icon settings. The circle color is going to be orange. So let me grab that orange code, color code. So enable sticky options on the circle color and add that orangey color over here. I'm also going to change the title text color into the same orange color, because right now you can't see it because our background color is black. So we'll use the orange color here. This is what we have for our blurb module in a sticky state. And we can copy these settings. So copy the module styles and paste them onto the blurb module in column 3. So now if I enable the sticky options here, you can see that both of these blurb modules have been modified in a sticky state. And then I'm also going to change this background color of the blurb module in column 2. So let me open this and change the background color to, again, this orange color code. You can find all of these steps, all of these color codes in the blog post mentioned directly in the description below. Or you can modify this to your own, you know, preference. So that's about it. These are the sticky styles that we've applied to our row. And now if I preview it on this page over here where we've created the template, we can see the outcome. So over here we have our sticky footer bar, and as soon as we scroll to the footer, it changes styles, and it's just an effortless transition. And this is what we get on smaller screen sizes. There we go. I'm just going to take one more last look to see if you guys have any questions. No questions. Awesome. Means that you guys have been following along and understood all of the different steps. Well, that was all for this tutorial. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, and we hope that you're enjoying this ongoing Divi design initiative where we try to put something extra into your design toolbox each and every week. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye.